So a lot of you who watch my videos know that I'm a huge fan of Hoselink hose reels. I have 2 of them at the house now. There's one in the front yard and one out here in the backyard. Well, I'm excited today to tell you about a couple more products that they're bringing over from Australia into their US market to kind of help you with watering the lawn, spot watering the lawn, and having some fun as well. So with that, let's get started. So I've had Hoselink hose reels in my yard for several months now, and I'm still very pleased with how they're doing. They're holding up really well. They're getting used lots, and today they're getting used even more as I test out. They're new to the US market anyways. We've got an oscillating sprinkler here and a 9-pattern sprinkler here. So an adjustable 9-pattern, you pick which one you want and let it go. So I want to go through these real quick and kind of demo them for you a little bit as well. So I want to start with the oscillating sprinkler because I think it's my favorite of the 2, and the reason is, 1, it's so easy to set up. You can connect it to a regular garden hose, no problem, or you can get their quick connect fittings and take it off the hose nozzle, swap it over to the oscillating sprinkler or the 9-pattern sprinkler really easily, and that's nice. But just the sprinkler itself I like because it's so easily adjustable, and there's lots of adjustment points on here so that you can dial this in as much as you want, really. On the very end you have flow control, so you can adjust the pressure that comes into the sprinkler from the hose, and then just above that you actually can adjust the amount of arc you want, or the amount of space you want to cover, and those are both individually adjusted. And then finally, you can actually adjust how wide you want the spray pattern to go with the little buttons on the side of each end of the sprinkler here. You can just push those in. There's 3 on each side, so you have the variability of all 3 off or just 1 or 2 off on either side, which I think is super cool. And this thing, when all of these are firing here, it's a nice wide spray. It's covering nearly the entire width of my backyard, which is pretty impressive. So you can get a lot of coverage on this if you have an area that you want to spray or water and just kind of isolate watering to a certain area. You pull the hose out, and I've shown you how easy this is to pull out, and it's just so nice. So this would have been really nice to have when I was redoing part of my backyard earlier this spring. Rather than having to take the hose all the way out there and hand water it, or run a couple of the zones back here to make sure it all got coverage, I could have just taken this out there, set it up, and just forget about it for a few minutes a few times throughout the day, and it would have covered that whole spot perfectly. So if you're doing a renovation project like that, this is a good sprinkler to have. Moving on to the 9-pattern sprinkler head here, again, you have the option for quick connect. I think those are sold separately, very inexpensive. Quality of build is really good, just like the oscillating sprinkler. The housing around the side is metal. Of course, the piece around the top here is plastic, but it feels like it's pretty solid. Train. But the cool thing about this is you have so many different options of being able to adjust the pattern and the width of the spray that comes out of the hose here. Lots of different options, and it's just really cool to see the differences in how high it sprays up or how wide it sprays. So you can really dial this in to cover a certain area of your yard depending on what your needs are. Now, of course, these are really great tools to have around when you need to spot water any area of your yard, or even your entire yard depending on how big it is. Like I said, this oscillating sprinkler has quite a bit of coverage that it's capable of handling. But when I think about sprinklers like this that connect to the hose, watering the lawn is probably the last thing that comes to mind. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of these is playing in these sprinklers and the kids running around and having a good time. And I think that's one of the ultimate tests for these sprinklers. So I'm gonna hook these up, let the kids go at it, and see what they think. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. The kids love this thing, and I think this is gonna make a lot of appearances next summer. We're kind of getting out of the hot for the year, but this is a lot of fun for the kids. It's good for spot watering the grass, multi-use. So there's gonna be links to these down in the description below. There's a discount code as well in case you wanna save some money on the purchase. Thank you to Hoselink for sending these. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.